The survival horror genre is one of the most last-impacting experiences one can have. The sheer fear and frantic fight for survival is a challenging but very satisfying concept that has set the greatest examples of horror and focus for gaming history. On this channel, I've covered pieces of horror before, but there was one cult classic series that I've always been meaning to cover that I find to be the greatest this genre has ever offered. That being Fatal Frame. Now, Fatal Frame, simply Zero in Japan or Project Zero in Europe, is a lesser known horror franchise, not as well known as the big names like Resident Evil or Silent Hill. Which to me is a shame. Right aside the big names, the Fatal Frame games build rich atmosphere.
That mirror. Give it back.
Well-designed worlds with meaningful horror fully intact of each one. These games have brought many haunting memories to players alike and laid down empty yet terrifying rooms of what it could achieve. A game that is not only engaging but very fun and creative that will make you sink your teeth into. So today, let's talk about the gem that is Fatal Frame 1.
I wonder how long it's been since my brother and I began to see things other people can't see.
In the game's opening, we step into the shoes of Mafuyu Hunasaki, who wanders into the Humuro mansion where he's investigating the unknown whereabouts of Junsei Takamine. Junsei is a man who studies things such as supernatural tales. But soon, Mafuyu himself goes missing too, leaving you to venture into the mansion as none other than his sister, Miku Hunasaki.
My brother was here. What is this place?
Your goal in hand is to find your missing brother after not hearing from him for a few days. Now, being a survival horror game, you expect the weapons to be things like pipes and pistols. Yet no, not at all. Fatal Frame is one about ghosts and folklore. You can't kill something that's already dead after all, right? The only way to see these vengeful spirits and defend yourself from them is with none other than the camera obscura, passed down from generations of your family. When used, you'll be placed in a first-person perspective, giving you full control of your surroundings, and when performing this action, you must steady the shot onto what spirit you'd like to target. You could take multiple shots till it's gone and clear within the room you're in. While yes, you could do this, it will only drain your fill types, and perhaps a better approach is to get as close as you can to the ghost, and taking the shot when the bar is suddenly red, achieving more damage, basically when it jumps at you. This game loop is very terrifying, as it's forcing you out of your comfort zone and demanding you to be close in on what is of course very risky, but rewards well as you are saving your film and hitting insane damage. It's an addicting gameplay cycle that is both unique and very fun to learn. Just like ammo types in other horror games, you'll find film, and just like pistol comparing the shotgun ammo, you have weak to very effective film types ranging in great damage or relatively alright damage. What about the place you explore though? Humuro Mansion. Well, intact is what I believe to be a style that excels in environmental storytelling. Each room can tell you something. First you look around, then you find a diary or a set of notes. You slowly uncover the tragedy around and in front of you. The look of the walls and floors let you get into your imagination, and in there you can piece things together on your own. I know some people might find some notes to be pointless as they may not involve the main plot, but instead, side stories. But for me, I feel as they add a lot because not only do you have a structured story, but you also have other events that make the world feel alive. These side stories let you get to know those who have already passed, or perhaps worse, are now roaming the mansion halls as you read along the lines. It builds sympathy and more fear when things are left completely open. It may even push you to the end of the game to let these spirits pass on into another life. You are terrified of these spirits, but they are just as confused and scared as you are. It's letting you, the player, be a detective and connect all the dots. Throughout the game, you'll be looking into lasting memories of who once was, sending their fear as they discover the horror you face from them as well, showing what really went wrong and why it went the way it did, and the victims soon to follow. Something that also helps the environment tell a story is the camera angles. It's a survival horror game after all, so the camera will watch in different angles depending on what area you are exploring. Now the reason why it works so well in Fatal Frame is the fear of being watched. You could say Resident Evil did fixed camera angles to work around the tank controls and feel like you're playing a movie, but in Fatal Frame, not knowing what's lurking, especially when you can't see it, makes these angles feel almost threatening in nature. And that's when the fear kicks in. You wouldn't really notice, but the music begins to change, just slightly, where you may stop to listen like something's wrong, or feel like you're tricking yourself into it changing. Then you stand there, now without the sun vibration getting slowly more responsive in your controller. You are right. Then you pull out your camera anticipating when or what will meet you exactly. And that, I add, is the perfect example of building such a rich atmosphere. Fatal Frame 1 is a must-play for many horror fans, and recently beating it after of course playing 5 and 4 was just amazing. I've been a fan of this series so far for about 4 years, I believe. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I know this video was pretty short, but I really wanted to cover this game. Like, after beating it, I just had a lot of thoughts, and I loved this game so much. And I have the second game ready to play, so who knows if I'll cover that too. I know my videos have been getting kind of shorter over time, and that's because I'm not going to be really making big videos yet. But I do just want to say, please play this if you can. Emulate it or something. It deserves to be played by a lot of people, and I think people should talk more about Fatal Frame. I think it's a series that doesn't get enough credit, because it does a lot of cool stuff. Its strengths are so high and its weaknesses are just so forgettable. Sometimes you forget there's even flaws at all. It's a great time. I recommend any survival horror fan to go pick this game up and play it right now, because it is a great entry and a very chunky franchise. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys just have a great day. Or night. Or morning. See ya.